Item number 4 is project. A is wastewater treatment plant project. Number 1 is Darren Jacobs to address the council on project progress.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Darren.
Out walking around out there, so if you'd excuse the dust a little bit, it's pretty dry out there.
Just so it's dust.
Give you the 10-second update on the plant and on the sewer. The sewer, which we commonly call the 11th Street sewer, really is down on 5th Street right now. They've come up out of the hayfield. They've come down 5th Street to the north, and they've turned and gone to the west and have started up the ravine. They're about 400 feet, roughly, up the ravine to the west, and they're continuing on that path. Since that time in 5th Street, we've found a lot of unknown things. We found some sewers, we found some manholes, we found some pipes, and they got all that tied in, we think, successfully, and appear to have done a nice job doing that. I think I really want to make sure that everybody, all the public, knows how much we appreciate their patience. I know it's tough having the street blocked in front of your house, but they're getting to the point now where on the south end they're preparing subgrade to do some paving to put the street back in, basically to the south edge of Platte. And so hopefully we'll start getting some of that inconvenience taken care of. And the neighbors have all been really nice and really patient, and we very much appreciate all that. If you see them, let them know. On the plant, they are currently working on the headworks room, the first place in the plant, and they're working on building the flow equalization basin. And basically that's just a big excavation job. They've got more work to do over there. The headworks is actually about to the point where they're putting stuff back together. The big wait is for equipment. And the primary pieces of equipment, I think, are still at least 12 weeks away. It's kind of a slow process. In the interim, one of your final clarifiers, there's 2 tanks out there that have the 2 round tanks, if you recall those, have equipment in them, and we've had an equipment failure in one of those tanks, and we've been successfully treating with one of those down. And in that process, we've asked for the supplier of the new equipment to see if they can expedite the new equipment and get it here. And instead of trying to fix the old ones, we'll just get them replaced. Contractor's been good enough to move that up in their schedule and change things around, and we think that as of today, we've got a deal worked with the equipment supplier where they're not going to charge anything to get that equipment here sooner. The whole thing was they have normally programmed this to go out to a shop, and then they program it to be hauled. And if we wanted one of them sooner, they were going to have to rearrange their shop schedule and all the templates, and then they'd have to have more truckloads. But we think we got that resolved, so we can maybe get that one back online without having to mess with the old one. So I'd say everything is proceeding on schedule, and I haven't had anybody call and say that things were disrupting their life really badly. I don't know if you folks have or not. So I guess that's good, and things seem to be proceeding along.
So any comment on the 2 contractors that are doing the 2 respective projects?
Had a good relation with both of them. They've been moving along. Van Howen is the primary over here on the sewer project, and basically I think anything that we've asked for or Bob has asked for, I think, has been very rapidly taken care of, and Bob has had them helping a little bit trying to find some of these pipes that nobody knew where they were. And if you recall a while back, we talked about the fact that we were going to try to camera the pipe. We actually run a camera up in with a remote control device and take pictures up in there, a video, and we were unable to physically do that. Well, they've been doing a little digging here and there, and Bob's been out there really nicely helping try to find stuff. And we think we've got all the services found, and a couple of them that were abandoned that were still running into the pipe, and that could be a big source of groundwater coming in. Probably what that means is that we should have a tighter sewer. The other part of it is we intercepted a line that evidently was going somewhere, because we did notice it on the plant. And we did notice it on the flow meter out there. So we have found some things that were kind of unexpected, which, you know, 100-year-old sewer, that happens. Anyway, we think we found it. What I did ask Van Howen for, however, at this point, and this is not a change order, this is more just for your information. Originally, as we said, we were going to try to TV up that pipe. And with that not being possible, we may end up having to go out along the pipe and dig to find whatever's out there. And I asked them, so that we had it in our pocket, what would it cost to have you dig beside the pipe? And they gave us a price of $400 per hour, which sounds horrendous, but for the size of machinery they've got and the crews they have, that's pretty well in line with the market. Up till now, I would say they haven't spent much time doing that, but we probably will. And our guy and Bob and some of the other ones will have to work together to make sure that we don't, you know, that we keep that into a reasonable amount of hours. The nice thing with a machine the size of Van Howen's is they can move a lot of dirt in a real short amount of time. So ultimately, we probably will end up paying them for some of this exploration. My thought is that a lot of that may be covered by what was TV work. We have a dollar amount in there for that. Will be replaced with actual digging. So a lot of that we can probably cover by just shifting the money from the item we can't use. Anybody have any questions about either project?
I got a question on the north fifth there.
Yeah.
How big a fill we got in there at the bottom, going across that road?
The pipe depth was roughly 17 feet deep.
And when they backfilled that, what did they use to backfill that?
They backfilled with clay, and the nice thing is I did get a call when they were starting to backfill, and they said, hey, we got a soils concern. So I came up and we looked at it, and we actually had them throw away some soil and go to a better soil. Will it ever be perfect? Probably not, because I know where you're coming from here, and you're right. The question is really, can we ever put it back like it was? No. I mean, that's the honest answer. It's like cutting yourself with a knife. You'll always have the scar. Will it hold water? Sure. Will it keep the blood in? Sure. But it'll never be quite like it was. But we've been watching very closely to make sure they do as well as they can to make sure that scar gets stitched up. I feel really good. I walked the south of Platte, and they've got that pretty well ready for pavement, and it looks pretty good. So,
You don't think it'd be smart just to put gravel on it for the summer and then pave it this fall?
I absolutely think that would be an awesome idea, because that does give you time to settle. The question then is, are you guys willing to tolerate with that inconvenience for a year? We kind of discussed this in brief when we did this, you know, we did the original design, and I think at that time it was thought, being a farm and market road, that may not be the best solution.
I'd rather have it sit for a little while longer and have it done right. I mean, that's my opinion.
And I can't argue with that one bit.
Will that fit into the time frame of the contract and the butting of the bids and doing that? If we let it sit for that length of time, would that be a problem?
Sure. We can make it fit. That's the short answer. How much time were you thinking? Are you thinking fall, or are you thinking
Early fall.
Okay. Well, let me talk to the contractor and see what we can do for that. And would you be okay with crushed rock then? Okay. And basically we'll rock it as we have to, I guess. And
The 17 foot, if you use clay back there.
I couldn't agree with you more. It will always be a weak spot.
And we'll have trouble later on.
Right.
Fixing the darn thing again. And
You're absolutely
still
correct.
haven't tried it long enough. But
We've been pretty successful over the years of getting them in, but I won't lie to you and tell you that it's ever done perfect, because it's not. So I'll talk to the contractor and find out.